Hi everyone, I'm Sabrina. I am the owner of the Reg to Reader blog. Um, what I basically did, I've had this blog forever. It's kind of been my little side project. I had a second blog where I would literally post book reviews. I was inspired by a good friend of mine who does this. She's really popular with it. I'm trying to pick up popularity. It's kind of hard when you're super busy. So I'm going to try again as successfully as I can as I'm going to college and working full time. So anyway, but this blog was kind of like my baby, and I thought I was doing really good. I updated it, put some pictures in there, and then I realized this blog was not as fun as it used to be. So I updated it now, and I'm doing something more fun. I am a kind of person who has a really hard time writing stuff down. Everything comes to mind and it's brilliant. It comes out of my mouth just brilliant. But on paper, it sounds like shit. So, anyway, pardon the language. So, we are going to start doing, or I'm going to start doing something called a book vlog every so often whenever I get a book done. So, this week, I finished a book. It was called Rise of the Mooncusser by Ken McAlpine. Now, I got this book, and I'm going to explain this a little bit. But how I got this book was a thing called Goodreads First Reads. Goodreads is a website for readers, writers, whoever you may be. You can go onto this website and you can put in books like, say, this book and rate it, review it, and Goodreads will suggest books to you. You can get connected with your favorite authors. There's even like little groups you can join where you can vote on books, kind of like book clubs. You can vote on books you're going to read for the week. You can even enter giveaways to win free books that the authors themselves will send to you. They can, it used to be only just paperback form, which is why I have the paperback version of this, or like, I don't want to say paperback, book versions of it where it like comes in hard copy, print copy pretty much. And they changed it now, so now it can be print copies or they can sell Amazon Kindle copies because there are a lot of people that like to read online. Me as well. I have a ton of books in my bookshelf, and then a ton of books online. So woohoo! But this was a Goodreads first read, and basically what happens is a new author will take their book and to try to gain popularity, they will put it online on Goodreads, and Goodreads pretty much it's like a giveaway contest. You list how long you want it to be on there for. You give like little brief synopsis of the book, and Goodreads will let it run for that entire time. All you have to do is send the books, and they will give you the address of whoever wins. You can choose how many copies you want to give away. It's a great way for new authors, and I think they may have changed it, but as far as I know, when I last did it, it was for new authors because I am an author myself, and back when I wrote my book, I sent out like 10 copies to people, and it was great. It was like fun to watch like 4,000 or more people go nuts over a book that I wrote that I thought was trash. But anyway, so this is where I got this book. I used to enter at like every contest that I could. And yeah, so this new author, he put his book out there. I entered the contest and I was lucky enough to win. So he sent me this book and he even signed it. So that's pretty cool. It says, "To Sabrina, thanks for your interest. Sincerely, Ken." And this is something that Goodreads requires you to mention in your review, so that's why I'm mentioning that it is a Goodreads first read, just to give acknowledgement to them and also the author. And I want to talk about this book, and that's what we're going to do. And how I'm going to do this blog pretty much is I'm going to start off by talking about what I liked and what I didn't like, and just go from there. Hopefully, if it gets a good response, I'll keep doing it. If not, I'll just go back to writing, but I want to see how this goes. So Rise of the Mooncusser, I rated it 3 stars on Goodreads. It was written in 2013 by Ken McAlpine. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background of it, what it says on the back. Rise of the Mooncusser, prequel to the award-winning novel Fog, once again transports the reader to the wild shores of 19th century Cape Cod, a world of shipwreck and quick death, and the beginnings of a tale that will eventually threaten to alter the course of America's future. Here lies the unforgettable characters of Fog, begin their journey toward their eventual fates. Life-saving keeper Daniel Cole and his strong-willed wife Sarah, the irrepressible Willie Bangs, the Reverend Marmaduke Matthews, fiery orator and tormented soul, the canny whore Abby Haredall, the brutish John Kilroy, and of course Pomp, philosopher and seer, arbiter of justice and dispenser of death, a man who walks outside the boundaries of civilization, a mooncusser whose only alliance is to the whispers inside his head. Cast your eyes to the storm, swept ridgelines of the outer beach, and witness a shrouded in matchless evil. The front of the book also says, "This is what got me. Rise of the Mooncusser. Upon the wild shores, a matchless evil walks." So it begins. So to start off, throughout the book, I was not really excited at first. I have problems reading like 18th, 19th, or not 19th century, 18th century books, pretty much like ones that were written in 1800s, stuff like that, because of the fact that sometimes the wording and language that they used back then is different than now. So like when I read Shakespeare books and like Willa Cather, trying to think of other authors I read, I have a very hard time reading their books because it takes me a while to understand. And this is one of those books. I kind of started reading it to, I thought it was a short read, and it was a short read, but it just was not piquing my interest at first. So for me, it was very hard to get interested in this book. And I apologize if you see me stop and it like cuts. It's when I pause the video to do something. But anyway. So it was a hard read to get into. It is set in 1870, and it describes all the characters that I talked about on the back, just kind of living their lives. And basically, what I understood from the book was that there is a bunch of people being set up as keepers at these different lighthouses or shores or something to kind of keep these mooncussers from doing what they do. And what a mooncusser is basically like a pirate. And they will stand on shore and they will somehow disable a lighthouse. And back then, probably just blow out a candle. That simple. Or, whatever they did. And they would set up a lantern and somewhere towards like rocks or a hill or bad waters. They would create this lantern and turn it on and kind of just direct this ship towards the rocks. And then they would go down onto the shore and raid this ship. They would no survivors. They would kill survivors or throw them in the water or sit there and watch them die. And they would go onto these boats and they would collect stuff. And that was probably the coolest thing that I found in the book. But the thing is, the book tells you literally what character is the Mooncusser and what they're doing. And it really wasn't that interesting to me. And so, it took me forever to get into this book. And it took me forever to get to a point where I liked it. It was towards the end, the last few chapters, where I started to love it. And when I read about the Mooncusser and I read all the other stories, it just excited me. Now, the reason I gave it 3 stars is because it just did not catch my attention like some books do. There are books that absolutely just amaze me. I love it. I'm overwhelmed with emotion throughout it. And this one, it was really, really good, but it just did not reach 4 or 5 star status. And, that's not to say that Ken's not a great writer, because I have, looked at some of the books he's wrote, and they're very interesting. There's even a little excerpt back here of Fog, the next book on, and it's very interesting. The thing is, it's just a person like me has a very hard time getting into these books, but I will say that I did get interested in it, and it's very good. I might consider reading Fog as well. I don't know how I'm going to react to it, but it was a really interesting story, and I was really lucky to get to read it. So Ken, if you're watching this, thank you so much for this opportunity to get to read this, but I do recommend this book, especially to people who like pirates, who like older 18th century books. It's definitely written like it's in the 18th century. That's what I love so much about Ken, is that he does a good job at painting this picture that we're back there. But honestly, I do recommend it. Even though I didn't give it completely 5 stars, I do recommend it. So anybody who's looking for a good book, maybe short read, buy this prequel. And then if you really love it, Ken also has the award-winning novel Fog that you can read. And it's even a little excerpt in the back. So that's my vlog for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon.